Isn't it a beautiful day? At least it's a beautiful day here in Michigan. Well, I have to qualify that. It's a sunny day in Michigan, but it's a cold day in Michigan. I'll just give you that right off the bat. Well, we hope, yes, Jay will be here in a minute. He's messing with the lights and the cameras and stuff. But hey, we hope you've had a good week since last Friday. Whoa, that one's shaky. Since last Friday, we've had a great week. I see Stacy Alexandrowski is joining us. I still have this stupid computer thing that's not really showing me anything, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. And some of you I can't see. I think Kathy Nicodemus. I think you are Kathy. I hope you don't have to pay $1,000 to deliver those cookies to your kids tomorrow. That's just stupid. But anyway, we won't go there. But yeah, we've had a good week. We've continued our exercising, and we've continued trying to eat right.
We've had our first P90X injury.
Yes, we have. It is called Laura doesn't do push-ups right.
Laura sprained her wrist trying to do push-ups on P90X.
And then just in the midst of everything else, so we're like, well, we have to go to Rite Aid. We're not going to go to Meijer to buy we'll go where less people are. So we go to Rite Aid to buy me a brace because it was really hurting for 2 days. And Jay said, well, this one's for your left hand. Get this one. So I got this for my left hand. And then yesterday when I started feeling better, I'm like, this thing is bruising the top of my hand. It's because it's for a right wrist.
Only us. I mean, only us.
I'm still trying to find. Okay, there
our next door neighbor is the president of our hospital, and she informed us. We were talking across the lawn. We were like 20 feet apart, but we're talking across the lawn. She informed us that COVID-19. So many people think COVID-19. The 19 stands for the year that it was discovered. Well, she informed us that that is wrong. That is totally wrong. Important information for you, so we can stay safe. The COVID-19 stands for how many pounds every American's going to gain during this because we're staying at home and eating like crazy. So now something else, this is something that maybe some of you can relate to. The last day that I wore pants, I mean real
jeans,
pants.
Okay, just
jeans,
be clear.
Khakis, dress pants. The last day that I wore those was March 14th. For our son and daughter-in-law, their baby shower that we had. Yes, because we're going to be grandparents here really soon. But bottom line is, that left 17 days of March, and now Governor Whitmer here in Michigan has said we're shelter in place till April 30, so that's another 30 days. So, I will go pantless for a minimum of 47 days. Perhaps the longest I have ever gone pantless. Perhaps. Now,
again, let me read again. He is wearing sweatpants, okay?
Dude, are you sure?
Live, he is
are
wearing
you
sweatpants.
sure? Can
yes,
you be sure?
We are sure?
You do not know. Here's the other interesting fact, and ladies, this is probably something you don't want to publicize, but save goes to
sweatpants. I'm wearing sweatpants or leggings or shorts, just so you know. But, I'm not putting on
not
jeans.
Real
I'm
pants.
putting on nice pants. I'm putting on comfortable pants. I have my sweatpants. I have my pajama sweatpants. I have shorts.
How many others of you can confess that you haven't worn pants? I had a friend, Mike, from Tennessee. He's a real estate agent. He said he hadn't worn sweatpants, or he hadn't worn pants, except for he had a showing that he had to do, or he would not have been in sweatpants or in real pants anyway. So pants. The other thing, oh my goodness, I'm so bored that I voluntarily trimmed my nose hairs.
Thank the good Lord.
Laura did not have to go, look at your nose hairs, they're awful, they're sticky.
There's nothing worse than when you look at your husband this way and they got these big old nose hairs. I'm not talking about my eyebrows and see my hair's up because we got gray hair and we got long hair.
When you look at your wife and you go,
hey, I can take care of that most of the time.
Anyway, so amidst the coronavirus, here we are. We're going to celebrate marriage. We're going to help busy couples stay happily married for life. But tonight we're going to talk about communication. The fact that in the midst of this, if we're going to celebrate our marriage, pardon me, we have to communicate. And here's the problem. Men and women, we communicate very differently. Men talk about facts and activities, and ladies talk about feelings and people. So, when I get done playing...
I want to talk to all you people on here right now. Like, hey, Kathy Dole, I'm glad you made it back from Florida. Hey, Carol Roble. She's a grandma, too. I can't wait to be a grandma. And we got Stacy Alexandrowski. We got Brandon Bendeley. And Oh, so the nose hair thing is not just my wife.
Right, it's all
No,
women.
Chad, you have nose hairs. Wait, I don't understand.
His wife complaining about nose hairs.
Yeah, it's gross. You got a big hanging nose hairs.
How can you not get that he's saying it's not just my wife?
So you can reassure. There's a lot of us that don't like the nose hair thing. So
or the men that don't like the chin hairs.
Julie and Dan.
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
our cruisers.
What were we talking about? Oh, men. Okay, so men talk about facts and activities. So, for example, when I get done with a round of golf, I come home. Laura says, "How was your golf game?" And I begin to detail every shot on every hole because those are the facts from my activity. Her eyes glaze over because she really doesn't care. And as a result...
I care about one shot or two shots that are really good. I just don't care about the whole 18 holes, however many shots it takes down every hole.
And when Laura goes out for lunch with her friends, and she comes back and I say, "How was your lunch with your friends?" And she begins to tell me about every person in the city of Alma and everything that they're doing. And
I don't know
what he said and she said, and I'm just like, I don't care. So that's the beginning of communication. We have to care about what our spouse cares about. So, gentlemen, we have to care about people and feelings. And if you can't do it, pretend to do it. Okay?
We were watching The Neighborhood the other night, which is a show on TV. It's pretty funny. But I think it's on Monday nights or whatever. It's a funny show.
It's irrelevant when it's on.
It's irrelevant when it's on. But he was talking about, well, I have to care about at least I have to pretend to care about what your mother cares about. And we looked at each other and went, at least pretend. But pretend good. If you're not a good pretender, then don't pretend. Because other one will see right
you got to learn how to pretend. Okay.
So, yes, we're talking about listen tonight. Listen is the fundamental tonight for celebrating your marriage during these crazy times. And here's so I've been wanting an Alexa, like an Alexa, an Echo Dot, or whatever.
Let's just stop right here. If Laura sees it, she wants it. That's all there's to it.
It's true. But anyway, so I've been wanting one since they came out, and Jay's like, "No, they listen to everything you say." I'm like, "Do you see when you go to Google and look at something, you Google this new little golf club, then it shows up on your Facebook page? Everybody's listening everywhere." So finally, I got one for my birthday this year. And Alexa has taught me a lot about communication. Okay, so communication. It's very hilarious because this will apply to your marriage, folks. First of all, you have to be very specific with your communication.
And that is,
very
ladies,
specific.
That's something that you need to learn with your husband. He's not a mind reader. He doesn't get subtle hint or innuendo. He needs to know what you are specifically saying.
Yes, because we've had to figure, I've had it since December. So December, January, February, March. Now we're into the middle of April. And we're still, when we're watching TV or we think of something for the grocery list or whatever it might be, Jay will say, "So how do I need to say it?" So here's the way you need to say it. Because you have to say it a certain way for her to hear it. Right. Remember that.
So, for example, when Laura says, "Honey, is that your underwear on the floor in the bedroom?" My response is, "It better be," because she's not specific. What she's trying to say is pick up your underwear, but instead of saying that, she asks the question. I'm going to ask the question. Are those yours? What's happening over here?
Hi, Cindy Eldred.
Kathy Smith.
How are you?
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy Smith. And I can't see that. Brenda Dewey.
Put on your glasses.
No, because I don't want to. I don't want you to see that I can't see. But anyway, so that's the first thing with Alexa. You have to be very specific. The second thing is you have to be prepared to repeat yourself. Which, ladies, that's another one for you. So if you have one of these little Echo Dot things and you just hear, you say it and you don't hear "I have added garlic olive oil to your grocery list." If you don't hear that, you just hear a tone.
A what?
That means you got to repeat it. I know it sounds like a cat, but it's like a you got to repeat it because she didn't hear a thing you just said. So again, if your husband doesn't respond to something that you say to him, you got to repeat it because he didn't hear a thing you said.
If the TV's on, if he's got a device in his hand, if he's hungry, if there's any distraction at all, ladies, he's not going to hear you. Okay, so be very clear and concise with what you're saying.
So here's the third lesson about listening that I've learned from Alexa, and it's this. She will interpret it however she wants to.
Now, gentlemen, that is a tip for you, okay? You can say something as plain and simple as it can be. For example, "Honey, you're a good golfer." "No, I'm not. You think I'm a terrible golfer." What did I just say? You're a good golfer. No, I'm not. You think I'm awful. Because she's,
Here's an example. So we use essential oils. I make an order every month. And I was like, oh, I'll use Alexa to help me remember what oils I want to order. So I said, hey, Alexa, add peace and calming to my oils. Well, when I go in to look at the list, it says foils. It doesn't say oils. It says foils. She hears it however she wants to. So let's just remember that as we start talking about communication and listening to each other.
Yes.
Hi, Johnny.
So,
and you know who else is on here? This is really fun. Laurel and Harry from Alberta, Canada.
well, hi, Laurel. Yeah, I do. The Russells.
We were the Charlie's Angels girls on Lake.
So look who. Let's see who else has joined us.
Well, Johnny.
You're gonna have to put on your glasses.
Robin Skirman. Let's see, Kelly Stroop Taylor from Lakeland, Florida. Diana Dukes Daniels. Dave and Diana are here from Palm Beach. Rosaline, we met you in the South somewhere. You got to tell me where. I can't remember. Debbie Shadowin. Who else have we got in here? Trisha Beglin Johnston. Vera Petit Wilson.
So, folks, one of the things
we're just having fun here.
we're quite humbled, to be honest, because between our two platforms last week, nearly 7,000 people watched this. And one of the things I said to our neighbor, I said, so that tells you how bored people really are.
They're watching us on Facebook
But
Live.
no, seriously. We were talking with our friends Russ and Janine, our best friends.
We weren't talking with them. We were doing a Zoom virtual
call.
Zoom.
Yep,
Because if you've heard us before talk about anything, we get together every Wednesday night for what we call therapy. Well, we can't do that, so we did it virtually this week.
So we were talking to them. They got a great marriage. We feel like we've got a great marriage. Maybe okay marriage. But anyway, we're good. And these times are trying for folks that are in good relationships. Imagine those people who are on the edge, who've got some issues, and then you throw in people with some mental health issues like anxiety or depression. This is going to be really tough. And so for us to be able to say we're doing this to help whoever we can help, have some fun, enjoy some laughs and a good time on Friday night. That means the world to us because that's what we do. And to have nearly 7,000 people last week watch this was incredible. I say all that to say this.
He has a lot to say. Go ahead.
You're so cute.
Go ahead.
You're so cute. That's why I love you.
Hi, Cindy.
Anyway, Cindy's story.
Cindy's story. She's my childhood friend. We grew up together from the moment we were born. She's my oldest friend. Not my oldest, because Johnny's my oldest.
Sorry, Johnny.
But she's my oldest.
Where I'm going with this is,
love you, Cindy.
If you've got a question, type it in the things. If you've got a question about communication, because that's what we're talking about tonight is communication. If you've got a question, type it in. Laura will put her glasses on and make her look really old, and we'll read them.
But we're going to talk about 4 different ways or aspects or areas, however you want to call it, of ways that you need to communicate.
That couples need to communicate.
Need to listen. That you need to listen to each other. And the first one is the plan. You got to talk about the plan. Especially, here's what we found out. One day blends into the other, right? I mean, you wake up.
It's Blur's Day.
Yes,
here in
so
Michigan.
I have to tell you, our garbage gets picked up on Wednesdays, and on Wednesday morning we were sitting up in our office. And we were working away, and we heard the garbage truck, and Jay just went running out to the garage.
I said a bad word.
It was Wednesday to get the garbage out to the end of the street. I went running out
Guess
the front
what
door,
bad word I
and
said?
I was waving down the garbage man. I'm like, wait, we're coming, because we forgot what day it was. The days just blurring together. But every morning we get up, and after we've done our reading and everything, we go, okay, so how do we want to structure the day? Let's go clean up the kitchen. Let's do a pile of laundry. Let's go clear our email. Let's go down and exercise. Then we'll come up and cook lunch. And then what's the one thing we want to get done this afternoon? Is it something work-related or is it something home-related? Or maybe it's a little bit of both. Or do we want to go for a walk? But just talking about that plan for the day. And as we've said before, we have a whiteboard on the side of our refrigerator that we have all these little chores we want to get done. We've cleared off a lot of them, actually, because, we've been shelter in place for 2 weeks.
Well, we've cleared off the ones that involve both of us.
Right. Mine are still there.
There's a whole laundry list of stuff that she has to do,
Because
like
he
her
won't
jewelry,
leave me alone
like
to
her
get my
closet,
stuff
like her
done.
drawers, all the stuff, because,
Because he has to be right there doing everything with me. So I'm going to put him to work on my jewelry, and I'll get my makeup done. But anyway, talking about the plan. That's really important. What are we going to do today?
How you guys are planning your days. Write us and just let us know. How are you planning your days? Because I think for some of us, out there, this is a tough issue. And, we can only read so much. We can only stream so much TV.
I could read all day, but
Well, what's your plan? How do you plan out your day during this?
hey, I think this is one of your childhood friends, isn't it, Clark Hewitt?
Clark, good to see you.
Petoskey.
Oh my goodness, yes.
From P-Town.
We played baseball together. He was much better than me, but we were on the same team.
So the second aspect of listening is to play. There's just something that happens when you play together that's different communication. So here's what we did last weekend. This was at the
On Sunday.
it was our daughter-in-law and son said, hey, because they love to play games. I'll be honest, Jay and I are not usually game people, but in these times you do whatever you can to communicate with people.
You ever played Farkle?
And so we played Farkle via Zoom. It was written
When
Zoom.
I'm done with the P90X exercise, my whole body feels like Farkle, but Farkle is a game where you play dice. It's just you roll the dice, and we did it. It was so fun. We did it over Zoom with my mom and my sister, who live here in Alma, 2 miles away, but my mom's 81. She's not leaving the house. Don't blame her. We're not going over there to infect her. Our son and his wife, who live in Texas, and then my aunt, who lives in Germany. So it was so fun because we're all here playing the same game because everybody has their Farkle dice, and it was kind of cool. I was leading for the longest time, and then my son,
who had no points.
until like in three rolls he won. But nonetheless, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. His wife says that. No, I won't say what his wife says.
No, you can't say it. Just keep that between the family. But anyway,
I
talk
think we've
about
got
the
some
plan.
questions.
I know, but let's go through the points, and then if they have more questions, we can answer them. Because
Okay.
we want to come back and answer your questions. So we've got the plan, we've got play, and then you know what?
Wait, no. Play.
That's what I just
There's
said.
lots of different types of play.
Yeah, go for a walk.
And
Put together a puzzle.
honestly, probably most men, when it came to this, were shelter in place, meaning we're home just the two of us or just us and the kids, thought to themselves, "Woo, we're gonna have a lot of fun during this." The problem is this, gentlemen.
6 feet. Remember, 6 feet. You have to stay 6 feet from each other.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Right,
Social distance.
Fellas, here's an important saying for you to understand. For your wife, when all is right in the world, all is right in the bedroom. And right now, all is not right in the world. It's fact of life. She's worried. She's afraid. So you need to understand that kind of play might not take place. But ladies, here's the other thing you need to understand. Is that for your husband, when all is right in the bedroom, all is right in the world. So if you need him to do some extra things around the house, it's not a tit for tat. It's not a negotiation. It's just understanding that we have different needs.
So, if Ben talk about facts and activities, and all's not right in the world, then how can...
That's an activity.
Okay. Social distancing.
The
6 feet
fact
apart.
is,
That's all I'm
that's
saying.
an activity.
So we have plan, we have play. The third area of listening is, we're in a pickle.
We're in a pickle.
We're kind of in a pickle here. And just by way of information, for those of you who follow us on social media, we asked this week whose nickname was the cucumbers or pickles. Now that was on Instagram because Jay took it off of Facebook. I have no idea why. But the answer is Laura's nickname growing up was pickle. So there you go. You've got that. But we are in a pickle. And don't be afraid to talk about it. Jay, because men talk about facts and activities, every day he goes and he keeps his stats. He has the Michigan.gov thing up. He wants to see how many people in Michigan have been affected, how many people have died, what are the ratios, what are the percentages, how are we going down, are we going up? That kind of calms him. He kind of likes to know that information. I just every morning read the newspapers and go, oh, hey, did you hear this? Did you read this? Did you read this? And then we talk it through because it kind of helps to process what is going on and kind of to also realize that, what's going on in New York City is very different than what's going on in rural Michigan, rural Montana. What's going on in the state of Washington, the state of California is very different than what's going on in Texas. And so it helps us to just have that information. When you feel like you're in a pickle or you're in a crisis in your family, just talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. It may be painful, it may be scary, it may be fearful, but you know what? We know who is in charge. We're not in charge.
Right.
The government's not in charge. The people around here are in charge. Jesus is in charge.
Right.
If this weekend and any other weekend we realize that's this weekend.
Here's the other thing that we've stopped. Us. Not telling you, but us. We no longer watch the news.
It's insane.
Because no matter what news outlet you watch, it's biased. We try and read the news, but not watch the news because it can be so what's the word? Not insightful, but it can
Inciting. It can cause fear. It can cause panic. It can cause you to worry.
We are in this pickle. We're all in it together. We are going to get out of it. God knows what's going to happen. I love the passage of scripture that says, or maybe it's just a saying, "This too shall pass." But we've got to understand.
I don't think that's scripture.
It's just a good saying.
Yeah, I think it's just
I did see your friend Cindy said some of us are still working from home. And yes, we're still working from home. We always work from home. But there just seems to be more time. For example, when we get done at 4:30, 5 o'clock, instead of going and doing something fun, like going to the store, we have to stay home and do something constructive.
Or we go for a walk or whatever it might be. So you've got plan, you've got play, you've got pickle, and then last but not least, you got purpose. And actually, we put this in here because next week we're going to be talking about your purpose. What's your purpose as a marriage, as a couple, as a family? What is it that you want to do? So what we want to ask you to do is this week, in preparation for next week, we want you to talk to each other about what is it that you value? What are the things that you value?
Who are the people you value? What are the ideas that you value? And what are the things that you value? And I know I grew up, you're not supposed to love things, you're supposed to love people. We understand that. But valuing your home as a thing, because it's your home, it's not just a house. Valuing your car because it gets you to work. Those are not wrong things to value. But just start writing down a list of the people, the ideas, and the things that you value, because that will help you define your purpose. Again, we said this last week. We'll probably say it every week. We're in a crisis. A crisis is defined as a dangerous opportunity. So let's take this time when we're all kind of slowed down and use it as an opportunity to look forward, to move forward, to say, where are we going as a couple? What's God calling us to as a couple? What are the things we want to be? What's the important things in our life as a couple?
Because I do think when this is all over, we're all going to reevaluate what's really important to us, because at first, the first week we were like moaning, no March Madness,
no Masters.
You know what? We haven't missed them.
Yeah, well, we have.
Well, a little bit, but Sunday.
But are they as important as the people we love?
Right.
No.
I think we're all going to reevaluate. So we just want to help you next week to start. Let's look at that now. What is it that we value in the midst of these crazy times? What is it that we really value? Because I think we are really starting to understand what we really value. So we have a few questions here. So Julie Timberlake says, where do you find the motivation? We're lazy. We can be too. I like to sleep. But you know what? I know that there's things that have to get done. That's why we keep the whiteboard and we see, okay, here's something we need to do today. We've also got that for our business. Here's something we need to get done today. I need to put out some social media posts. I need to make a payroll. I need to do a deposit, those kinds of things.
True confession. Last night when we got the alert that Michigan was on lockdown, for lack of a better word, till April 30th, I don't get depressed, but I get down. And I got down. And I'm like, holy, seriously? Where do we find the motivation to do these things? And I do think what has to happen, there's some self-motivation that has to take place. We're entrepreneurs. We own our own business. So we're used to kicking ourselves in the butt and saying, you got to get out of bed, you got to get out, you got to get to work, you got to get these things done. But for those of you that maybe aren't,
and this is all new to you.
Yeah, and this is all new to you. You've got to kick yourself in the behind and say, okay, it's time for us.
Here's one thing we need to get done today.
And here's one of our favorite sayings. What is it? With P90X? Progress, not perfection. Same in your life.
I think I was trying to have perfection. And
same in your communication life. Same in the midst of all this. If you can get one thing done a day, that's progress, not perfection.
So Laurel and Harry dance together. They copy each other's dance moves and laughs. I think that's hilarious. I would love to get Jay to dance, but we'll see how.
I'd love to copy Laura's dance moves, but
Debbie Shadowin says, "I'll be honest, I don't have much of a plan. I'm currently staying with my parents at night, which that's probably a very good thing. I come home, eat breakfast, shower, and read or watch TV. I take a walk in the afternoon, do a little social edit, then go to the parents for the night. Hey, it's what you got to do. That's your routine for the day, and I think that's really important." Is to have some routines. Hi, Brian and Tanya. Hi, Martha Bamfield, our old neighbor.
No, she's not old. She's a
not
former
old. She's
neighbor.
our former neighbor. She's not old.
but
not
I am going to shout back out to Debbie, because Debbie's husband, David, is a truck driver. And again, this is just my own opinion. I am so happy for our nurses and our doctors and our medical people. So happy for our first responders and our all of the law enforcement people. But I think the unheralded heroes of what's going on in our country right now are the truck drivers. I got chill bump. My grandfather was a truck driver, and he, all his life, that's what he did. He delivered things to people via semi. And folks, we wouldn't have any of the things we need to survive if it weren't for those truckers who are putting their life in peril, just like our medical staff, by going to warehouses where there's tons of people, picking up supplies, dropping them off at Walmart or Meijer or wherever. Anyway, David, Shadowin, thank you.
We have another good thing here, but before we do that, Martha says Luke's watching too. So,
Well,
are you guys getting
Luke.
to make honey? Because they're not making honey here in Shepherd. So
No,
we're really
no,
disappointed.
maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Oh, that's right, maple syrup. I got the wrong thing every time.
Of course.
It's, hey, honey, are you making maple syrup? But
Wow.
anyway, here, this is really good from Trish Johnston. We've been working on being patient with each other's priorities. This is really good. If my priority is to finish a book, he lets me finish. If his priority is to clean out the mechanical room, I don't interrupt him. And we're trying to be thoughtful of each other's time and attention. And I think this is where the two of us, where we're together all the time. I mean, all the time.
We
And
work
this
together,
time
we
we're
live together,
really-
we sleep together, we eat together. Apparently that was what I prayed for as a young man.
Exactly. But we're trying to be thoughtful of what is it that you want to get done today, and here's what I want to get done today. And if that means two different things, that's okay. But if it means we got to do something together, then let's do it together and let's get it done. So
Get her done.
get her done. Oh, I'm sorry you forgot that we were starting tonight, Tina, early. We were trying to do that so that people who do have churches live streaming Good Friday.
Yes,
that they were
our
able to do
church
that.
and many others are live streaming Good Friday service at 7, so we didn't want to interfere with that. That's why we started early. As soon as this, if you didn't get to see the whole show, as soon as this is posted, you can go back and watch the beginning. Because
all done with maple syrup, but it was a good yield this year.
So how can we get some, Luke?
Hey, Amber, just so you know, I see that you joined. We
didn't do a very good job.
We didn't do a very good job this week. Just so you know, we'll just leave it there.
We didn't do a very
But
good job.
yeah, we didn't do a
We
very
did our
good
best.
job.
We did our best, Amber,
She
but we didn't do a
knows
very
what
good
we're
job.
talking about. Hi, Mike from the Pacific Northwest. How are
Mike
you guys
Hitchcock.
doing out there? Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I saw that Sabrina cut your hair.
Yeah, it looked great. Jay would not let me touch his hair. So
No.
good for you, Mike. And Sabrina, you did a great job. Don't tell him that I laughed.
See, my hair, it doesn't matter if I go a month without seeing it or 2 months without seeing my hairdresser because it just gets more curly and just
We
sucks
can
in.
actually, so you people can't see this because he puts gel in his hair, but in the morning there's no gel, and so he can take his hair and pull it way up
It's
here.
just like Kramer
We could do a
from
man
Seinfeld.
bun. We could do a man
And
bun, but
I
I'm
look
not
like-
talking because mine's up like this because I don't want you to see the gray hair.
I look like Kramer from Seinfeld. Any other questions?
We'll take them for the next, second or two, and then we will.
Oh.
Harry cuts his own hair. There you go.
Harry who?
Harry Russell, cut your own hair.
No, there's no way. Are you kidding me?
I've told him he should just shave it. Just take it and shave himself bald, but
Are you
no,
kidding
that
me?
won't happen. Mike Hitchcock, glad this is not Zoom.
Pardon me.
I'm not sure why. Why? Because we just laughed at you. Oh, because they can see you.
Oh.
It really didn't look that bad. I was just joking. I was just joking. No, good job. Good job, Sabrina. You are better than I am.
There's no way you're getting
I
shots
think
of
we
my hair
need
in the morning.
pics of Jay's. I'll see what I can.
No. Here's the deal. I wake up way before her, and so my hair is not gonna be
Zane Zent says use a bowl, Jay.
use a bowl. Yeah, right. That's great. Any other serious questions on communication?
Hey, I'm loving the comments. This is really fun. I'm loving
We
this.
do love interacting with you guys, and like we said last week, we were blown away over the course of the week. Almost 7,000 views
Sorry,
of
my eyes
this,
hurt.
and just a place to come and laugh and have some fun and talk about important things, but yet not take them too seriously, because we're all going to get through this. We're all going to look back in a few years and say, well, that was an interesting time. We never experienced that before, but we got through it, and we will get through this. We will get through this, hopefully without killing one another. But
Hey, for those of you who attend our Celebrate Your Marriage or are planning on attending our Celebrate Your Marriage, please check your email if you haven't read your email yet, because we have announced new dates. Monday morning there will be a new Facebook posts coming out that announce new dates for Celebrate that will be happening in June. We are so excited to be able to go to Grand Hotel in June at spring prices. But for those of you who are current ticket holders, there are some things that you need to do to make sure that you can get in June or October or next May. So please check your email if you are a ticket holder for this May's Celebrate Your Marriage. The same thing for Memories on Mackinac. Memories on Mackinac was supposed to be in June. It's now happening in August. So for those of you who might be ticket holders for that, again, check your email because we want to make sure we get you in, because next Thursday those rooms are going to be released and we will be opening that up to the public. So if you are a ticket holder, make sure you get that taken care of this week.
Just to clarify, Grand Hotel has been very gracious to us.
They're amazing.
Our event that was supposed to take place in May, not going to happen because it's just not going to happen. They've moved it to June, which is prime season, but they've allowed us to keep shoulder season prices. So you can come to Grand Hotel, celebrate your marriage with Jay and Laura in late June for the same price as early May, which is unheard of. And we just appreciate those folks so much. They're great friends of ours, been great to our ministry, and it's a great place to come and celebrate your marriage, especially after what we've been through. So remember, next week, we're going to be talking about what is your purpose. Oh, wait, we got a good question.
This is really, really important, and I appreciate Tom and Bo Hicks. I think we should also have a shout out to our armed forces, our sons in the Air Force. Make sure if we need our boomers, they are bombers. Maybe it's supposed to be bombers, but it looks like boomers, that they are ready. Yes. Very, very, very important that we appreciate our armed forces, because they're setting up the field hospitals, they're manning the borders, they're doing all that kind of stuff. So yes, thank you very much.
And you know what? That's something that we need to recognize every day of the year, because these folks are on the front line every day of the year. And we had a question, what is Memories on Mackinac, Laura?
I was just going to say, check out our website.
Memories on Mackinac, while she's typing, is a multi-generational mother-daughter event that's hosted by Laura, and it's moms and grandmas and grandkids and aunts. It's for women, but it's not just mom and daughter. It's a multi-generational thing, and it's a lot of fun for the ladies. It'll be happening
in August this year. So, hi, Kathy Robertson.
What else we got? Any other
Jennifer
questions?
Dumont, happy to be able to attend Celebrate. Yes, we are happy that you get to attend Celebrate too. So just make sure this week, because next week we're going to be talking about labor, that purpose for your marriage. Make sure that you have some discussions this week, because you got nothing but time.
About the people, about the ideas, and the things that are important to you. Anything else, dear?
I don't think so.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We love you. We appreciate having the opportunity to at least connect for a little bit here. It's crazy time, but we're going to celebrate our marriages. We're Jay and Laura LaFoon, helping busy couples stay happily married for life.
But next Friday's at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. next Friday night. See you there.
Go to your church's live stream
for Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Ours starts in 27 minutes.
All right.
I am able to add. Jay has to put on his glasses to turn off the live stream. Hey, have a good week. Happy Easter.